First episode of Secret Invasion has dropped on Disney+. Now, based on just the first episode, because that's all they released, I didn't get to see a bunch of episodes early like I did Moon Knight. All I'm seeing is the first episode, just like the rest of you people. This has the potential to really stand out from some of the other Marvel projects. It's definitely a bit more serious in tone. It has very little humor, which I'm fine with. I mean, Moon Knight had very little humor, and I still really enjoyed that show, and I'm glad that they are doing something that is a bit more serious. It's got the espionage feel of Winter Soldier, mixed with a little bit of the X-Files, and it's got a pretty intriguing plot. And at times it actually kind of reminded me of the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. What I mean by that is, for those who may not know, the original version of that movie was made during a period in U.S. history called the Red Scare, where the U.S. was paranoid about the Russians invading and living among us, to the point where people were even accusing their neighbors of being communist spies. This has kind of similar ideas to that. I mean, there's even a group called Americans Against the Russians, or whatever it was called, and it has this idea of anybody could be a Skrull wanting to take over Earth, just like how, your neighbors might be communists. So I like how it is kind of an allegory for something that happened in history, while it's also not delivering it in a way that's super heavy-handed and hits you over the head with it. It had just the right amount of that. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about some of the Skrulls possibly being good. They try to make you feel a little bit more sympathetic for these poor Skrulls that are living on Earth, but at the same time, some of them are trying to take over. So I'm not sure how I feel about that quite yet. I guess we'll see what happens as the show plays out. But this is certainly a very high-stakes show, while also not being super over the top. This isn't like a big MCU spectacle with a portal in the sky or tons of sci-fi and fight scenes. No, it is a bit more grounded, and the stakes are a bit more realistic. Barring the fact that the villains are aliens, you could just replace them with regular humans, and it would still have the same stakes. And I'm excited to see where the show goes. It has the potential to have a lot of spicy twists. It has the potential to have intriguing conspiracy. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. Now, I did see a big controversy online when I woke up this morning over the opening credits. The opening credits were generated by AI, and honestly, I'm kind of fine with that, because I think it keeps with the theme of the show, where everything looks a bit off, right? It wasn't made by a human, so it's not perfect. It doesn't look quite right. And I think it helps it stand out a bit, where everything's just a little bit off. It's not quite there. It's kind of that uncanny valley. So I think that helps keep with the theme of the show. Either way, people are definitely going to be talking about that aspect for good or bad. And you may have noticed I used an AI art generator to make the thumbnail for this video to keep with that theme, because I'm really getting into this show. I'm really getting into this Secret Invasion. This is certainly one of Marvel's most standout shows so far. I can't wait to see what they do with it. I'll see you guys next week, see what happens on episode 2.